Ketu is in Moola Akshatra. I uploaded a video along with my very good friend Ved discussing various aspects of Ketu, and he wanted my take on that. So here it is, my take on Ketu in Moola Nakshatra, a brief short video, just my inputs and how you are going to deal with this and what is this going to do. But before that, do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. If you want to follow other astrological inputs that I give, which cannot be uploaded on YouTube because everything cannot be made into a video, I share a lot of astrological tips, inputs, updates on my other social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. The links of that is in the description box below. Follow that, and if you want to take consultations, you can drop me an email. The email link is also in the description box below. So let us begin my take on Ketu in Moola Nakshatra. Ketu is a planet of detachment. It is not a planet of material satisfaction. Ketu is in Mooladhar chakra, you can say, as what we discussed with Ved. And that is why Ketu rules Moola Nakshatra. And this is the first pada of Moola Nakshatra. First pada of Moola Nakshatra is between 0 degree to 3 degree 20 minutes of Sagittarius, which is the Dhanu Rashi. It's the start of Dharma. Once the conquest of the Jyeshta ends, once you win over yourself, you actually realize that you have reached the core of knowledge, and that's Moola. With this core knowledge, you begin a spiritual journey, and that spiritual journey, through dharma, karma, labh, you reach moksha. If you see, these four zodiacs of Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces represents Earth, Dharma, Kam and Moksha in different ways. But with Moola, first pada, the soul begins the great spiritual journey. Whereas Ketu, the master of the spirituality, the master of detachment, he is the one who cuts the ties from the material world. He is the one that tells you how to unroot yourself, uproot yourself, you can say. How to move from one location and plant yourself into a different location. How to change the core that is working within you, or at least how to understand the core. So when Ketu is going on the reverse direction, this means that you will have this feeling, this uncanny feeling, this resemblance with the past, and automatically you will restart a lot of things. So this restart can be in any form. For a student, it can be going back to the chapter 1 and revising everything. For a person grieving in love, it can be revisiting the love, the good old days, or at least going back to the past, understanding the mistake, understanding what happened, understanding the working principle. For a failed businessman or for a person who is facing problems in your career, it means you need to go back to the square one, trying to understand the approach of your career, trying to understand what you did wrong, what went actually wrong. For a teacher, it is a time to brush up its core knowledge, going back to the school, and maybe you will get a student who represents you back what you were, and you can help him because you came from that life. For a rich person, it is revisiting his old days, understanding or remembering the struggle that he has faced. And for a successful man, it is the day one of his success, the first movie, the first breakthrough, the first song, the first video that made him hit, and revisiting that thing. You know what this revisit does? This revisit allows you to relive that moment, but with the current context of mind. Since then, your life has evolved, you have evolved to a certain stage, and you have came after a lot of struggle. This means that you have evolved from that past, from a series of difficulties, hurdles, and you have overcome that, you overcome yourself. The transformation was there, and now you are here. And now you will revisit the past, you will revisit the events that made you what you are today. And you should try to learn what is wrong there, what went wrong, what was the good, what was the bad. This is what Ketu will do. This Ketu has a very great power to make you go back and meet your good old friend with whom you lost contact. 20 years back, 40 years back, you will meet that person suddenly out of nowhere. Virtually or really is a different context, that doesn't matter, but this is a very, very powerful spiritual transformation. This Ketu says, cut the unnecessary route. So any area in your life that is giving problem, any part of your human emotion that is causing you trouble, anything that is holding you to the problem, you need to cut. But in order to cut, you have to make your hands dirty to hold the problem first. You have to address the elephant in the room. And the Ketu, if you won't say that I don't want to address, Ketu will bring the elephant in the room for you. Ketu will make sure that you will face your fear, and Ketu will make sure that you get to see what you have to see. He is not going to bother whether you want that or not. So when Ketu goes into the Moola Nakshatra, it is like your entire basis, your entire understanding, the core principle that you were working, that is going to change. That will come under scanner, that will come under scrutiny. It can be anything, it can be simply anything. It can be a simple faith on a vegan diet or a simple faith on a particular achievement that you have done, a particular power that you think you carry. Everything will come under scanner. This also means that you will connect to your root, because in order to cut a root, you need to go to the root, right? You need to visualize the root, you need to find out the core problem. And only, Ketu is not a rampant cutter. Ketu cuts if necessary. Just like a surgeon, it's a precision surgery. It's a precision cut. Very careful. If necessary, if a surgeon opens up the wound, he will only apply the amount of surgery needed just to cure the patient. One cut here and there can kill the person. And Ketu is like that. He's not going to kill you. He's there to have a surgical strike on each one of us. And in most of the cases, it will be a surgical strike on our belief system. And if you see, Ketu is the one that is most impacted in this case, and he is dragging us to the 8th house, to the core, to our fears, to all the topics, to all the areas that we were avoiding till date. It's that high time you have to go through that. You must visit those points, those topics, otherwise there will be in a big mess, big trouble, because Ketu is blind, vision is not there. 8th house is completely a blind spot. Things will become completely in dark. You will be in dark and a problem will hit you. I know it can be tough. It's not easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy. But I will say it's necessary. Because what will happen next is the surplus of resource. That's the Mooladhar energy of Ketu. The Kundalini of each one of us will get a spark. Problem? If you fall into the hands of Rahu, then it's a problem. You will lose. It's a garden and there are 5 roots in it. You have to find that. So you have to be very composed, calm, ready to work hard to find that root that is planted. You can't see anything from the top. But if you are in a hurry, if you are in a haste, then Rahu is going to impact you. And Rahu is in Mrigashira Nakshatra. Mrigashira Nakshatra is a nakshatra of a deer who is searching his identity. That means the moment you shift your focus to Rahu, you will end up searching, searching and searching, and maybe you will believe into false roots, not your roots. But if you really want to believe in your true roots, you need to follow the path of Ketu. Out of 5 senses, 4 is in control with Rahu, because Rahu is head, taste, smell, hearing and vision. 4 senses are in control of with Rahu. But Ketu is like touch. Sense of touch is controlled by Ketu. Now a person without 4 major senses is always inward. He is going to touch his soul. For him, he is doing this mudra, he is doing the Gyan mudra, he is completely into himself. Because he has no inputs to distract him. So if you have these inputs to distract you, you will not be able to find your soul. It's not like everybody is going to find it. Only few of us will be able to find our true identity, true core principle, true purpose of life in this time frame. Not everybody is meant to. I'm not even saying that. But for the few who are able to, you should at least try your best to have this kind of maintained approach, this constant approach towards spirituality. Not getting distracted by the glamour, not getting distracted by the facts which are untrue. I won't say it's false. I will say untrue. Simply, which is not true. That's the basis of Mooladhara energy, because then from the Mooladhara, the Kundalini will rise. When the Kundalini rises, the revelation comes. So this means you will meet with hard-hitting truth. Because just like justice, as we say, justice is blind. Ketu only believes what he sees from his internal eyes, and your internal eyes will not tell you that any kind of facts which is illusion. There is no Rahu here. It's completely spiritual. Provided you are not falling into the hands of the other 4 senses, which will give feet to Ketu, and you will be lost. So you need the hand of God. You need this power within. You need this kind of blind trust onto Him, the divinity, that whatever happens, He is going to take care of it. Yes, there is astrology, there are platforms that can give you data interpretation. There are tools available, but are you ready? Are you ready to face the truth? We as a human being do not want change. And that's you can say that's the power of mind. But Ketu has no connection with your mind. There is no head. There is no question of mind going there. So you have to keep your mind aside. You have to keep your head out if you want to get results of Ketu. When you involve this, you involve Rahu. When you involve Rahu, Ketu gets a feed with Rahu. When Ketu gets the feed with Rahu, obviously Ketu will act as per Rahu commands. Your body acts as per your brain commands. So your Ketu must cut the head off. And when we say cut the head off, please don't take it literally. Don't cut your head. But what it means is cutting the senses. In Gita it is written, go inward. That is what Ketu teaches. That is why Ketu is said to be mokshakari. He liberates you from the senses. He liberates you from things. And this is the teaching most of us will get in this life form, in this time frame. Few will accept, lot of you people will reject. It's not easy, I can understand. If your horoscope allows, if your horoscope says that you have to accept the spirituality, you will accept it. But you must understand this fact that in all of our life, in fact any one of us, just pick a random person, A, B, C, D, E, random person. Whatever battle he is facing in his life, right now he is facing the core issue. Barring few exceptions, because there are exceptions whose vision is not to the core, rest everybody will face problems from their core. They are revisiting something from the past. They are breaking something and creating something, because Ketu means restart. Finish something now. Ho gaya. गाड़ दिए झंडे, Next what? This is what Ketu is. This means stop, restart, stop and restart. Pass the baton to somebody else. You do something else. These kind of transformation. Giving up, completion, accomplishment. And if you are doing that, you must know that this is the effect of Ketu. If you are revisiting your past more than the previous. There are a lot of people who revisit their past often. When I'm talking the increased frequency of this, it means it's an impact of Ketu, and you must see where your Ketu is placed in your horoscope. That will give you a lot of hint what this is going to do. But this is an intense time where if you fail to connect to your roots, you will fall, because Ketu is going to cut the root. Ketu is going to replant you, whether you like it or not. Ketu will give you opportunities if you follow his path, the path of detachment. And detachment doesn't mean that you will stop loving. Detachment means you will detach yourself from the fruits of karma. Somebody will be able to, somebody will try, it doesn't matter. As long as you walk the path, doesn't matter. In a lot of my consultation, I hear that people are saying that, sir, I am not able to do this because my mind is materialistic and I am not able to free myself and I desire. And I say, who is asking you to quit the desire? Desire, but don't crave for it. If you are working in a job and you want some costly thing, it's very human of you to want that, to wish it. I wish things too. But then, if you crave for it, if you are working because of that, then you are looking for the fruits of your karma. And Ketu says, do not look into the fruits of your karma. I will tell you how. Let's go into the Aries ascendant as Kal Purush. Ketu goes into the 9th house. Now it is coming into the 8th house. As you know, 8th house is end of something. But there is other catch to this. 8th house is 11th of 10th house. Fruits of your karma. What your karma is going to get you in the long run is 8th house. And Ketu is going to replant you exactly in a place where you will get a true karma result in the long run. Now, Ketu is being impartial. It can be positive, it can be negative. When in the karmic house, it's a retrograde Saturn. In the dharma house, it's a retrograde Jupiter. And in the adhyatma house, it's a retrograde Ketu. And if you fail to go inward, you're only going to crush yourself against the wheel of time. So it's better to follow the path. Let's see what happens. Nobody is asking you to be spiritual for your entire life, but for this time, accept the possibility that there can be a higher power who is not ruling you, who is helping you, who is like your father, who is like your mother. They don't rule you, they help you. So if you can do that, if you can connect to this force, you are connected to Ketu, and the moment you hold the hand of Ketu, the Ketu is wishfully going to take you to the Garden of Eden, as you may say. For a lot of people, it will be spiritual. For a lot of people, this transformation will be material. Let us take an example. A person is trying for a job. He is not getting it. An old friend from the previous company which he left 5 years back called him and asked him that if there is an opportunity, you want to come? And he says, yes, I need a job. And he's there. A person who has signed a film but was asked to leave suddenly gets a call that we are starting the film again and you are called to take the lead role. And he says, yes, fine, I'm okay. Yes, the decision lies up to you. Whether you want to take that or not is up to you. Ketu is only going to bring you the possibilities. Whether you want to take it or not is not Ketu's domain. Because Saturn is watching already. You have to decide for your own good. You have to decide your own path. Whether you want to connect, whether you want to reject the possibility. And if you have a scientific mind, and does not mean you have taken art, science or commerce. If you have a scientific, inquisitive mind, a curious mind, and you don't want to just stay where you are, you will at least make one attempt to connect to your root. Just look into your life. Find out from where your roots are, from where you have started the journey. Go back to that place. You will love it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this analysis of Ketu. This was my take on this particular transit. I hope you liked. If you liked, if anything, you have views. If you are feeling like this, comment your experience, your views, so that other people can know that this is how it works. The more you will put your experience, I will also try to put my experience. The more you will put your experience, and the more people read the comments, they will be like, hey, this is exactly like happening to me. You know, it will be like a forum where people will confirm. And you know what this will do? One who is in a problem, who is thinking, I don't know what is happening, will now know why it is happening. And now he will know he is not the reason. And now he knows he is not the reason for that. That will be a moral uplifting for him. Thank you. This is your host Punneit. Let's meet in the next video. Till then, namaste.